everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna bring you up to speed on the latest news on the He-Man movie by Sony. Sony has officially announced that a Masters of the Universe movie will be released on December the 18th of 2019. Early in 2016, Mick G was announced as director of the film, but it is now confirmed that David Goyer will be writing it. And what an awesome writer. I mean, like, The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies.
What would I do without you? You complete me.
Sony hopes that Goyer's involvement will attract some A-list celebs to fill the roles like these smexy guys over here, as well as a director. And according to sources, meetings are already in the works.
One thing we do need to keep in mind is that Sony is guilty of releasing official release dates only to not see the project through, like The Amazing Spider-Man 3. He-Man was originally the main character in a line of toys, a series of comic books, as well as flaunting that fur mankini on our television sets in the 80s. He-Man is actually the brave superhuman alter ego of Prince Adam of Castle Grayskull, who lives in Eternia protecting the realm from the evil forces of Skeletor, who seems to have no shortage of snappy insults.
Because you were a whip scientist and you could be a whip villain. It's the sorceress, you boob. You metal-munching moron. You overgrown alley cat. Skeletor to King Randor. Come in, you royal boob!
Toy designer Mark Taylor of Mattel designed He-Man based on a series of sketches inspired by Cro-Magnon men and Vikings. In 1982, Conan the Barbarian starring Arnold Schwarzenegger was released, and there was a rumor that He-Man was actually direct inspiration for the He-Man character. Conan Properties sued Mattel over copyright infringement due to He-Man's similarities to Conan. Mattel claimed that the toy had already been in production in 1981 and began marketing in 1982. Mattel eventually won the lawsuit against Conan Properties and retained the rights to He-Man. Mattel then hired comic book writers and artists to expand the He-Man universe. Illustrated books were released with the first toy series, explaining that He-Man was a barbarian from an Eternian tribe. When the 1983 TV series began, He-Man's origins had been revised. He was now Prince Adam of Eternia, son of King Randor and Queen Marlena, who ruled the kingdom of Eternia, while the sorceress of Castle Grayskull bestowed upon Prince Adam with the ability to transform into He-Man by raising his sword of power, yelling,
"By the power of Grayskull!"
You don't have to be a scientist to figure out that these two are the same, but He-Man does acquire a deeper voice, the confidence to wear fur-skin underwear, and some lowlights in those lovely yellow locks. Prince Adam's cowardly pet Cringer can also be transformed into Battle Cat, turning him into the ultimate babe magnet. There are so many characters in the Masters of the Universe franchise that are so quirky and unique in their own way. I actually read a really funny article on Nerdbastard explaining how the characters of He-Man have added fuel to the fire that the Masters of the Universe is one big innuendo for homosexuality. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and the group stresses that they are not homophobic, but it was just so funny reading a lot of the write-ups. Shortly after the launch of the first toy line, an animated series was created for TV in 1983, stretching all the way to 1985 with a total of 130 episodes. 2 more cartoons would later be made, one in 1990 called The New Adventures of He-Man, stretching for 65 episodes, and one in 2002 for 39 episodes.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said,
I was summoned to the future by the last of mankind.
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia, defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. By the power of Grayskull!
In 1987, a live-action film entitled Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren as He-Man and Frank Langella as Skeletor, was created.
There is a planet ruled by a being of utter evil. Only one man who dares challenge him.
With a very small budget, they decided to take the movie from Eternia to Earth, and instead of the iconic Orko the Magician, which may be a little bit out of their budget range, they cast Billy Barty as Gwildor to fill the role as comic relief. Prince Adam was nowhere to be found, and people said that He-Man was played by a giant slab of expressionless meat holding a sword. There was a lot of mixed reviews on this movie. I feel like you either like it or you don't like it, but keep in mind that they had a very small budget to work with. Some hopes that I have for this possible film are as follows. I really hope that we do get a good director for this film. I mean, you know, Michael Bay, you have done some good stuff in the past, but please maybe leave this one alone.
I step where you step. I touch nothing.
A reliable cast would be awesome. It would be interesting to see Prince Adam and He-Man played by 2 different characters.
There is the usual buff crew of Hemsworth and Tatum, even Charlie Hunnam for He-Man, but like Frank Langella, who played Skeletor in the 1987 film, would be cool to see again. He brought a kind of a deeper Shakespearean side of Skeletor out. Lastly, I think it's important to pay homage to the 80s kids that grew up with He-Man because they will be the most excited for this film. I've heard a lot of people calling for this film to be a little more quirky and maybe embrace the cheesiness of the 80s, even casting people like Will Ferrell in the film. I don't know, I personally want to see kind of a dark and grittier film with like spectacular landscapes and awesome fight scenes. So here are some questions for you guys in the comments down below. Would you like to see a He-Man movie even made? Should they make it available to the generations now, or should they just leave it alone? Would you be okay with Michael Bay as director? And what are some of your cast choices for He-Man, Prince Adam, Skeletor, the Sorceress? Should the tone of this movie be dark and gritty, or even quirky, embracing the cheesiness of the 80s, almost making it into a giant drug-induced coma? So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I come with new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, unless if I get invited for Chinese food. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay legendary.